Hello, welcome to another nutrition or another stream, another educational stream, I guess. I don't know how to call these. But anyways, today is another exam day. I have two exams. I have a psychology and a nutrition exam. So we're gonna see how that goes. So for nutrition, I'm gonna be doing that stream right now, and then if I have time, I'm gonna do the psychology stream. If not, I'll do that after I take my test. But as of right now, it's a get ready with me, and then also get ready for my nutrition stream. Also, one thing I must say before we start, this perfume, I have been using it for probably 6 years now. I don't know when I started using it, but what am I testing? I like used it for a long time, like since high school or even middle school. And I put it on the other day because I don't like I don't want to keep using it, so I wanted to get rid of it by just putting on some perfume and using it. Bro, I don't like the way it smells. It smells weird. Is it because I've been keeping it for a long time? Or is it because I just changed the way that I like smells? I don't know. But anyways, back to the relevant information. Okay. Oh wait, I'm looking at exam 1 information. Sorry. Okay. I think we're just talking about carbohydrates, if I'm not wrong. Carbohydrates and lipids, I think. But anyways, so carbohydrates are 4 calories per gram, and it's in plants and milk. They are monosaccharides, oligosaccharides, and then polysaccharides. So oligosaccharides are indigestible. Monosaccharides are simple sugars like glucose, fructose, galactose, and ribose. Oligosaccharides are 2 to 10 monosaccharides like sucrose, lactose, and maltose. And then polysaccharides are complex and abundant like starch, glycogen, or cellulose. So those are like the storage forms or whatever in your body. Indigestible or complex carb breakdown. These are usually broken down by small intestine enzymes. And again, we talked about yesterday in the anatomy exam, they can also be broken down by amylase in the saliva, but it's like mostly broken down in the small intestine because that's where usually most things are broken down. So maltose is digested by maltase into glucose. Sucrose is digested by sucrase into glucose. Lactose is digested by lactase into glucose and galactose. Starch is digested by amylase to glucose, fructose, or galactose. Glycogen is digested by glycogen phosphorylase, and this is in animals, into glucose. And then cellulose is digested by cellulase, and this is also in plants instead of animals. So that's cool. Digestion of dietary fibers are done by colon bacteria and not by SI enzymes. So dietary fibers are another type of carbohydrate, and they're not digested by enzymes like a lot of carbohydrates are. They're digested by the bacteria in your colon. So interesting to know, cool to know. Lactose intolerance is basically a varied ability of like lactase in your small intestine, and you can treat this or like just deal with it by using aged cheese and yogurt and also lactate treated products and drugs, or even like milk substitutes like oat milk or anything like that, you know. Ketosis is the shifting of your body metabolism from carb usage to fat usage. So this is when your body stops using carbs as your source of energy, and it switches to fats as your source of energy. And this will actually make you skinnier, kind of. And this is caused by the disruption of the ketoacidosis. And you need to eat 130 grams of carbs a day to prevent ketosis. But if you don't want to prevent ketosis and start burning fat, then I would recommend not eating 130 grams of carbs a day. And then glucose regulation, it's high after eating. So after you eat, the glucose will become high, and then what happens is your insulin levels will increase the reuptake, or not reuptake, glucose uptake, and then normal blood, the glucose will become normal because there's uptake of glucose, and then after that, the insulin will reduce because the job there is done. And then for low glucose, glucagon will signal the release of glucose from the liver because glucose is stored in the liver. And then the glucose will raise and become normal. And then after that, glucagon will decrease, just like just like insulin did. So the glycemic index is a 0 to 100 rank on glucose and insulin elevation based on blood sugar. So basically, if you get ranked a higher than a 70, then that's a high, or 70 or higher is a high glycemic index. And usually the glycemic index is higher after you eat. Now, a glycemic load, the carbohydrate analysis from portion sizes. So how you can calculate this is the amount of available carbs in one portion times the glycemic value, and then you divide that by 100. That will be your glycemic load. Higher than 20, like a glycemic load of higher than 20, is high. Like that's like the high zone, I guess. And then for diabetes, it's basically inflammation, circulation problems, blindness, kidney and heart disease relating to high blood sugar amounts. So prediabetes is tested by fasting plasma glucose test or HbA test. And then a type 1 is often hereditary, and it means that there's insufficient or ineffective insulin. And then type 2 is the most common. It's caused by genetic and environmental factors, and this is when the body is not as sensitive to insulin as it used to be. So that's a loss of sensitivity. Gestational is hormonal changes during pregnancy, so you could get diabetes during pregnancy. Hypoglycemia is the rare blood glucose. It's like rare low blood glucose, and this often is in diabetic people because if you manage your diabetes poorly, then it can lead to hypoglycemia instead of, I guess, hyperglycemia, which would be diabetes. I guess. Give me a second. And for sweeteners, you have you have two types of sweeteners. You have nutritive, which is like sucrose, honey, high fructose corn syrup, and then sugar alcohols. So all of these sweeteners, like sucrose, honey, high fructose corn syrup, these again are carbs, and so they will yield about 4 calories per gram. And then for sugar alcohols, they actually yield a bit less. There's 2 grams. Or, yeah. So high fructose corn syrup is pretty much basically the same as any other sweetener. Now non-nutritive sweeteners are a bit different. So they have 0 calories per gram. And this is basically like saccharin, aspartame, sucralose, or stevia. So what people call like something quick and low or something like that. I forgot what it's called. Anyways, there's some carbs in your food. So fruits have 18 grams per serving, and then vegetables have 5 grams per serving. Grains have 15. Protein, like nuts, they have 4 grams. Legumes have 10. Meats and eggs have 0, and then milk has 12. So a little bit about grains. So half of your intake should be from whole grains, and this reduces your heart rate because of viscous and soluble fibers. Now, fibers, they help lower the risk of colon and rectum cancers. And it's good to have to actually eat them because the fiber supplements lack the phytochemicals to help with all of that. So it's better if you just eat it's better if you just eat it up and not have to take the supplements. And then soluble fibers include gums, pectin, and mucilage. These form gels and are fermented, and these lower the cholesterol in your body. Now, insoluble fibers include cellulose and hemicellulose and lignin, and this retains their shape. This retains its shape, so it's not like soluble that doesn't retain the shape. And these lower constipation. Too much fiber can cause the complete opposite of this, so like constipation, dehydration, and gas. And then the recommended amount is 14 grams of fiber per 1,000 calories. So if you eat 1,000 calories, 14 of that should be from your fibers. Fiber increases the amount of cholesterol in your bile and helps digestive tract for protection. So I guess fiber helps you digest bile more, so it'll get out of cholesterol. Sorry, bile will help your cholesterol be digested more, so it'll get put out of your system a lot faster when you have fibers, and then it'll help the digestive tract for protection. So I guess it prevent from all those diseases that we were just talking about. Now we're gonna move on to lipids. So that's 9 calories per gram instead of 4. So it's a lot of energy that we use. Did I say 4? Oh yeah. Okay, and there's a recommended 20 to 35% of fat intake. This includes triglycerides, phospholipids, and sterols. So fats help with energy storage, insulation, shock absorbing, the cellular membrane, hormones, and vitamin. And these, for food, help improve the aroma, tenderness, flavor, and satiety because it slows down food movement, so you'll get full pretty quickly. Now, classes of lipids, you got triglycerides, which are 3 fatty acids attached to glycerol. These differ by length and saturation, So unsaturated are shorter strands and are more liquid. So unsaturated have only one or more two like double bonds, which make it unsaturated because it bends in one or more places. Whereas saturated fats, they are just only a single bond. They have more hydrogen and they're straighter. So that makes them saturated. Phospholipids are glycerol, two fatty acids, and a phosphate group. And this is phospholipids. Phospholipids are water and fat soluble, and they're part of the cell membrane and also help emulsify the bile in your system. Um, Now, sterols are carbon rings, like they're basically cholesterols, because sterol. And then, oh, I can't see anything. Okay, LDL is good cholesterol, basically, because they're smaller and they, um, like more protein, I guess. And then they help remove the excess cholesterol in your body. Now, LDL is bad cholesterol because they're larger, and then there's more cholesterol being transported in general. There's more protein in HDL and there's more cholesterol in LDL. So you need a low amount of LDL and a high amount of HDL. Or you need, but it's better to do that. And to lower LDL, you should just stop eating trans and saturated fat or cut down on it. And then to increase HDL, it's recommended that you exercise more to get that desired amount. And then digestion of lipids. This is all by lipase. The short chain fats are broken down by lingual and gastric lipase. And then triglycerides are broken down by pancreatic lipase. And this is signaled by CCK in the SI. And then phospholipids and cholesterol are digested by bile, which is released by the gallbladder. And this again is also signaled by the CCK. And then fat is emulsified by bile and enzymes after that, and then turned into micelles. So a lot of things can happen to fat, but that's the 4 things that it can be. So the absorption of lipids. So monoglycerides are absorbed into intestinal cells. Short chain fats are water soluble, so they go into the liver by the portal vein. And then long chain fats are reformed into lipoproteins called the chylomicron. And then triglycerides are then removed from the chylomicron via exocytosis, and then the chylomicron becomes a remnant and is taken into the liver. I thought someone's calling me. Sorry. Now, lipoproteins are transport vehicles for lipids from the small intestine to the liver and body cells. Chylomicrons or low density lipoproteins. Chylomicrons can either be very low density lipoprotein, which is VLDL, or low and high density lipoproteins, which is LDL and HDL. So yeah. So the liver packages the lipid that needs to be transported into the VLDL, and then blood. It'll go to the blood where the lipoprotein lipase breaks down the triglyceride in the VLDL, and then the triglyceride goes to the liver. The fatty acid goes to the body cells, and then the VLDL is taken and is put in used as LDL, and then transports the cholesterol to the tissues. Sorry, I seem out of whack today. It's just because I am reading from all of this. I'm not really fully into it because I'm trying to do my makeup more. But okay, and anyways, essential polyunsaturated fatty acids serve as eicosanoids, which is basically inflammation and pain and reproduction signaling. So a deficiency of this type of polyunsaturated fatty acids or eicosanoids can lead to inflammation. Now, two types of this essential polyunsaturated fatty acid is linoleic acid, which is omega-6 fatty acid. It is an arachidonic acid, which helps signals a lot of your body functions. And then I'm just gonna say linolenic acid is the omega-3 DHA or an EPA. This prevents heart disease, cancer, helps membrane, vision, and brain. Hydrogenation is the processing of unsaturated fats by oxygen damage. Like, for example, changing vegetable oil to margarine. The pros of this, there's a longer shelf life and taste and a solid structure. And cons is the loss of fat-soluble vitamins and nutrients, formation of unsaturated fat to trans fat. So there's some fat substitutes and being fat-free. So olestra is a fat substitute made from vegetable oil and sucrose. It's not digestible or absorbable. Many fat-free or low-fat foods have higher calories due to added sugars. Okay, yeah, that's basically it for nutrition. I'm going to try to finish this and then go take my test and then go. Bye.